So Infinix has just launched the Note 30, and on paper, it seems like this phone ticks all the right boxes, right? So we have wireless charging feature, which is the first time we are officially seeing it on an Infinix phone. It also comes with dual speakers, massive camera setup at the back and the front as well, and so many other features. And let's not forget that the price sits in a sweet spot, right? But how does these specifications fare when it comes to real world usage? Now in this video, I'm going to be focusing on 5 major aspects. That's the build, the cameras, the battery life, performance, and then the sound. So let's start off with the build.
Now, starting off with the build and design of this phone, and the Note 30 Pro uses a plastic frame and a glass back. And as far as the color options are concerned, a lot of you might have like a love-hate relationship with this color variant. So this is the variable gold, and it sort of changes color depending on the light situation. Now, personally, I don't have an issue with this color, but if you do, you can always go for the black color variant. Now, another thing I noticed with the build is the camera placement. I don't know why Infinix decided to use variable sizes for the camera. I would have actually loved if they were equally shaped, but this is me being, nitpicky. Anyways, this uses a 6.78-inch Full HD Plus display. It is an AMOLED display with a 120Hz refresh rate and a brightness of 900 nits. So yes, the screen can really get bright. It also features an IP53 rating, which is another feature that is a first on an Infinix phone. Now, the IP53 rating, for those who don't know, means that this phone can accommodate water splashes, but it is not water resistant, so don't go dipping it inside water. And yeah, for those wondering, the fingerprint sensor is actually placed by the side of the phone. But let's talk about the camera, and we're seeing a massive camera setup here, with the main camera being a 108MP camera. There's also a 2MP depth camera, a QVGA camera, and we have quad LED flash. Now in front, you also have a 16MP camera. So how do these cameras fare? Well, starting off with the selfie camera, and I took this picture indoor under good lighting conditions. Now, one thing I noticed is that the selfies look true to life, and by that I mean no over processing. But I would have loved if there were details, especially when you zoom into the images. Infinix has also added some features which I consider to be gimmicky but might still be interesting for you to know. For example, you can actually add makeup to your face all without leaving the camera app. And I must admit that they actually look good and true to life. Anyway, still on the front-facing camera, I'm moving to videos, and yeah, you can shoot 2K at 30 frames per second, but you won't get stabilization with this mode. The only modes that actually support stabilization mode are 1080p and 720p modes. And yes, Infinix has also added the cinematic mode for video that lets you shoot video with blurry background. But let's talk about the back camera, and the 108MP camera does well in good lighting condition. It has good amount of dynamic range, and once again, we don't have unnecessary color over processing here. However, as soon as the lighting condition becomes less favorable, you'll begin to notice that the images tend to have like a blue tone to it, although you can easily correct this with the editing software right in the camera application. Now, bear in mind that this only happened in the evening. Anyway, as far as night mode is concerned, I have to say that the only thing that I noticed is that it adds a bit of sharpness to the images, making them look more detailed, even in conditions that are not suitable. Yeah, now still on the back camera, and if you want to get the best shots, you need to actually enable the 108MP mode as well as the AI mode. I noticed that with these two enabled, you can actually get detailed shot as opposed to them not being enabled. Now, when it comes to videos from the back camera, yes, we still have the same setup with the front-facing camera. So yes, you can shoot 2K at 30 frames per second, but you don't get stabilization mode. The only modes that you have stabilization mode is once again the 1080p mode and 720p mode, and of course this also comes with a cinematic mode that can get you blurry shots. And yes, you also have slow-mo mode, but it's pegged at 240 frames per second. Now, another thing that Infinix has added to the camera setup is something called dual video mode, and pretty much this allows you to shoot with the back and the front-facing camera at the same time, so you can get shots like this one. Let me know what you think about this feature. Is it gimmicky or nah? Now, moving to the sound, and yes, the Note 30 Pro has dual speakers, which I think is great, especially for gaming. But one important feature being highlighted here is the fact that they have partnered with JBL to fine-tune the sound. Now, I'll be comparing the sound with other devices, so let me know if you can hear a significant difference with the sound. Now moving to the major highlight of the Note 30 series, and that is the battery and charging features. So this phone uses a 5000 mAh battery, and they've included a power delivery 3.0 charger. So you can actually use the charger on the Note 30 Pro to charge your laptop and other devices as well. But the most interesting additions are the fact that the charger supports 68 watts charging, and yes, the phone itself can also be charged wirelessly. As a matter of fact, Infinix included a free wireless charger in the box, which I think is a major plus in my books. Now, I must point out though, this is the first affordable phone to support wireless charging. So how fast do these phones charge? Now, if you use the 68 watt charger, you can charge the Note 30 Pro from 0 to 100 in 46 minutes. But if you use the 15 watt wireless charger, you can charge it from 0 to 100 in 4 hours, which is obviously pretty long. Now, as expected, this phone works well with other wireless chargers as well, and I saw a significant increase in the charging time using this with a wireless charger that has a higher watt like this one. Now, not only does this phone support wireless charging, but you can also use the back of the phone to charge other wireless devices like your iPhone, your AirPods, to name a few. But let's talk about performance. And the Infinix Note 30 Pro actually comes with a MediaTek Helio G99 chipset along with 8GB of RAM. Now, the RAM can be expanded to 16GB if you want to, and yes, the phone actually uses Android 13 OS with XOS 13 skin. Now, as far as this translates to gaming, I'd say you won't notice any major frame drops playing games like PUBG or Call of Duty on this phone. The only thing you'd notice is that it might not be able to undo the highest graphics setting. For example, PUBG is spec'd at HD, but aside from that, I had a smooth gaming experience and didn't notice any major performance issues with this phone. The phone also handled cooling well. For example, after 1 hour of gameplay, the temperature was still sitting within a comfortable zone. Now, in terms of benchmarks, the phone performs on par with other devices in the same price category.
Now, personally, I feel that the Infinix Note 30 series punches above its weight when it comes to features and affordability. And I guess that's the sweet spot that this phone sits in. The fact that you don't have to break the bank to be able to get high-end features like wireless charging, for example. Anyways, what do you think about this phone? And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share as well. And yeah, see you in the next one. Take care.